الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي علا في توحده ودنا في تفرده وجل في سلطانه وعظم في أركانه، الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن، الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود، فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالصخور ميدان عرضه، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. طب القلوب ودوائها ونور أبصارها، وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى يوم القيامة. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من أجل ذلك كتبنا على بني إسرائيل أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا، ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Once again, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gracing us with another Jum'ah to observe this weekly Eid, which Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala placed a lot of His mercy and blessings within it. I first admonish myself and you, beloved brothers and sisters, to be conscious of the teachings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have the taqwa of Allah azza wa jal, as that will be the prerequisite of entering into the mercy, of course the everlasting mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. If you recall very well, last week we touched on human rights within the teachings of Islam, and we focus on how Islam view life in general, not just only right, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about insan, He talks about the karamatul insan, the honor of insan, that insan is honorable in the eye of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We got to a point where we were looking at some of those rights that are outlined within the teachings of Islam, so that I and you will appreciate those teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will value insan, whether that insan is Muslim or non-Muslim, we will value that person. The right we were talking about, we said Islam, when it talks about this right, it look at it from three areas. The first area we discussed about it last week, that is hukuk al-i'dadiyya, that is preparatory rights, which I discussed about it last week. That many years before the birth of a child, Islam viewed this child who is to be born either after 5 years or after 10 years or after 15 years to be valuable in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we look at a child having a right of coming to this world healthy, and we discuss about that. When you go to get married or your son wants to get married, you have to be, of course, alert of the daughter-in-law to be for you or the son-in-law to be for you. That person has to be healthy physically and mentally and even spiritually according to the teachings of Islam. So that is our prerogative, how we want to do it. Islam outlined, we have to take it like that. The second right which we spoke about it is haqqul ikhtiyar. Your son who is to be born maybe after 10 years or 15 years, for those of us who are not yet married, that son has the right of a good mother who is a role model, and the son has the right of a good father who is a role model. Not the son to come and he cannot introduce his father because of certain flaws, or not the daughter to come that she cannot introduce her mother because of certain flaws. Even today you find find some husbands and some wives, when you go in a gathering and they are with their partners, they feel shy to introduce them. It happens. This woman, she doesn't even want her to be seen with that man in public. And this man doesn't want to be seen with this woman in public. Sometimes when you trace, you realize that no, there are some flaws, bad akhlaqi, which the person is doing, and the person doesn't want himself to be associated with the person in public. So therefore the right of a child is that before the child is born, he deserves a good mother and he deserves a good father. And the third one we spoke about, the haqqu shar'iyya, whereby the daughter and the son, they've got the right to be born within a wedlock. It's their right not to be born outside wedlock. So when you look at the Islamic teachings regarding children who are born outside wedlock, it is not because of the fault of the child, neither the daughter nor the son. The son is okay. If he works harder, he gets Jannah of Allah, he gets elevated in the eye of Allah. It's just to teach the father and the mother lesson. Today we're going to continue from where we stopped. The second right of an insan, which Islam outlined, is hukukul janiyya, fetus rights. Now the marriage is done. You have chosen your wife. And this is very, very important. When you see corruption in the community or you see corruption in the world, it's not because of anything, it's because of the way we get married. We don't really look into those prerequisites and conditions outlined in Islam when it comes to marriage. We just married, most of us just we love, so we get married because of that. We don't look at other areas, therefore we tend to regret in future. So the second right of insan, which Islam taught us, is hukuk al-janiyya. This fetus, which is lying in the womb of this lady, before it arrives in this world, it has a right. And Islam, as I mentioned when we discussed about the liberalism last week, they look at this lady who is carrying the child at the essence of the child who is within the lady. But Islam said no, this child, this fetus, which is with this mother and this woman, whether to be born or not to be born, that's something else. Islam said it has a right, and the right has to be given, no matter what the situation. Failing to observe the right, then it is violating the right of this fetus. And there are rights which Islam outlined. Last week we spoke about one of it. There are two major rights. The first one is haqqul baqa wal hayat, the right of living. That this fetus which is there, how many months it is, it has the right to come to this world alive. Therefore, the question of abortion comes in place where there are so many discussions among the Jews and the Muslims. Islam is of the view that this fetus which is with this lady has to come out. You cannot take it out. Yes, Islam taught us before 12 weeks, if it is detrimental to the health of this woman, and it is being established, proving that it is detrimental, her health is at stake, before 12 weeks, it can be removed. But when it is removed, there are penalties outlined according to Islam. Look at how Islam is coming. Islam said if it is nutfa, just a sperm, you pay 40 dinar. 40 dinar has been calculated today. And if it is alaka, alaka means cloth, and it is removed, you have to pay 80 dinar. And if it is a mudaga, mudaga means now the meat is being formed, you have to pay 120. But Islam said after 12 weeks, you cannot remove it anymore, irrespective of whatever reason. So therefore this fetus, of course when you go to the other madhahib al-Islamiyah, they have their way of also calculating it. But what I'm trying to say is that look at how beautiful Islam it is. That Islam said even the fetus in the womb of the mother, it has a right to come out healthy. And we have a riwayah from our beloved chief Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, where Imam alayhi salatu wasalam was talking about this situation where Then somebody asked Imam, one of his companions, but it's just nutfa, it's just sperm. Then Imam said, the beginning of the life of a person is a sperm. And this is where our great scholars, philosophers came forward and said, each and every insan is of two types of life. I remember mentioning this. Wujudun ijmali and wujudun tafsili. Everybody is got general life and got specific life. Your general life is this sperm. And today this sperm is sitting next to me and this sperm is sitting close to you and talking to you. It's like a CD. You take a DVD, CD. CD is of two lives, general and specific. The general is this CD which I give you. But when you start playing it, you see how many things in that CD. So those things in the CD, they call it wujud tafsili, specific life, detailed life. The same thing you sitting now next to me, it is detailed life. But that sperm is just a general life about you. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam highlighted, you cannot just take it out for whatever reason. So therefore this is where Islam comes forward. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ. You cannot kill your children as a result of the fear of poverty. Here Allah is awlad. Allah is not using mawlud. Difference between awlad and mawlud. Scholars made a lot of explanation. When you talk of this awlad, it could be 3 months, it could be 4 months, it could be 2 months. Because once you get that 3 months, then you cannot remove the child anymore. You have to just live good life until the child comes. So this is the first one. The second right of a fetus, which I mentioned yesterday, is infaq. You have to provide to this lady so that the child can survive. Provide lawful to the lady. Provide a healthy environment to the lady. Create a conducive atmosphere for the lady, because the child is dependent on the lady. How many men are pregnant and their husband, excuse my word, are abusing them? We've seen our people pulling women from the stairs of their houses who are pregnant, slapping their women, and they are Muslims. It's not Ashari for that matter. You violating the right of the child and at the same time the right of the woman. This is totally barbaric and against the teachings of Islam. Therefore Islam said, وَإِن كُنَّ أُولَاتَ عَمْلٍ فَأَنْفِقُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ حَتَّى يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ. If they are pregnant, feed them, provide them until they drop what is in their wombs. A woman who is pregnant needs conducive environment. If you don't do it because of her, you will do it because of your child, whom you want to represent you in the near future. And this is what Islam is talking about, brothers and sisters. Now, the last right is al-haqqu ba'da al-wilada, the right of a child after the birth of a child. Therefore, when a man comes forward and say, the right of a child is 50 before birth and 50 after birth. If you undermine the right before birth, you will reap the repercussion after that. So you have to be particular before birth and after birth. And today we all cry, parents are crying because we are not doing our work properly. We are not putting much effort. We don't spend time with our children. Little time we spend with our children. We don't have time for them. Hence the child will not come the way you want the child to come. Therefore Islam says when the child arrives, the child has a right. The first basic right, which we all know, is good name. Is to give your child a good name. That's very simple, right? Which Islam outlined. That is a right of a child to be given good name. And the best name is the name associated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abdullah, Abdul Hamid, Abdul Razak. And the other names are there. Today people give names, you don't know the tail of the name, you don't know the right of the name. Some people say, Maulana, I don't want to give them because if I want to apply for visa, I will not get power. What is this? Give good name and live a good life. Allah will open the way for you. People will come and tell me, no, I want to give name, but you see today, Islamic name is dangerous. Me, I want to apply for visa. They shouldn't. Ya Allah, we have a Muhammad, we have a Mu'min, and they've got the visas easily. It's how you live your life. If you get it, you don't get no problem. But Islam said this right deserves a good name. It is the right of the child to be giving him the best name. Today I can tell you there are certain names they don't have meaning. I don't want to give any example. There are so many names we have in the Shia world which don't have any meaning completely. There is no meaning. You ask, why did you get this name? He said, no, somebody is having it there and I enjoy that name, so I give this. So the first right of a child
The child deserves to be breastfed. This is the right of the child for the mother. Therefore, even Islam said, if the mother charges for breastfeeding, she has to be given. And that doesn't mean that she's not a mother. This tells us how important breastfeeding is all about. And how many riwayat we have from Rasulullah that the breast milk of a mother is much higher in content, in nutrient, in anything than whatever you can give your child. So therefore, Islam encourages that the second right of a child when he arrives in this world is to breastfeed the child. And Rasulullah said, feed them from the two breasts, the right and the left, because the right one serves as a food and the left one serves as what? Water. And doctors told us, established, Hisana min al-amrad. It also protects this child from a lot of sicknesses. And psychologists mention when a mother breastfeeds a child, she's not just breastfeeding the child. The child is drinking from her hanun, her softness, and her humbleness, and her mercy. That is what the child is taking from the mother. So therefore, Islam encourages the second right of a child is for the child to be breastfed properly. Don't bring haram grocery for the woman to breastfeed the child. It affects the child. Don't bring a doubtful money to the house which you are not sure of it, and she breastfeed the child. It's a problem. It will dent to it the future of the child. The third right of a child when the child arrives in this world is ta'limuhu al-adab. You have to teach your children manners. Some children you have no manners. Wallahi. Number one, teach them how to talk. It has to begin from home. You will all say charity begins at home, isn't it? It has to begin from home. Teach them how to talk. And teach them how to dialogue with others. And teach them how to interact with people. Isn't it more like I now taught Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba? Inna kalba al-hadath kal-ardi al-khaliya ma ulkiyat fiha min shay'in illa kabilatuhu fabadartuka bil-adab qabla an yaksu kalbuk wa yanshagilu lubbuk wajadtuka ba'di bal wajadtuka kulli. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin mentioned. Imam Amir said to Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, you see the heart or the soul of a small child, kal-ard al-khaliya, is like an empty land, like a fertile ground. Whatever you put in it, it takes it. You put hypocrisy, the child takes it. You put gossiping, the child takes it. You put Quran, the child takes it. You put the love of Allah, the child takes it. You put the love of dunya, the child takes it. Whatever you drop in, it accepts it. Then Imam said, فَبَادَرْتُكَ بِالْأَدَبِ. Then I haste in giving you good manners, O Hassan. Before Imam Amir al-Mu'minin, the way he explained, قَبْلَ أَنْ يَقْسُوا قَلْبِ. Before your soul become rusted, talking to Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, it tells how important it is. And before your mind become busy and overwhelmed with something else, وَجَدْتُكَ بَعْضِي بَلْ وَجَدْتُكَ كُلِّي. Oh Hassan, I found you half of me. In fact, I found you whole of me. So therefore, the other right after the birth is that the child is there to give you good adab. Today you find some of the children, they give you things with the left hand. Where is this madrasa? No, home. Comes to talk to an elderly person, is looking at somewhere, his hands are in the pocket. These are all not manners. We have to teach our children manners. And that has to begin in the house. The way you behave is the way your child will follow. So, and this is the right of the child after it has been given birth within the teachings of Islam. And the fourth right after birth, which is ta'alimuhu. Now you have to teach him. You have to give him Islamic information. I always mention this. Today our children, they go to school, which is good, because that is the dictate of the world, no doubt. But we do that at the expense of Islamic teaching. It's very unfortunate. You may find people even higher in Iman, Taqwa, but when it comes to Islamic education of their children, we are all zero. Definitely the dictate of the world is that they have to have secular, no doubt. It's also ibadah, don't get me wrong. But they need that Islamic knowledge to complement their attitudes and behaviors. Madrasa sometimes once a week. Some don't come. Okay, don't come is not a big deal. Do you have classes for your children? That is the most important thing. And it is the right of this child to be given Islamic teachings. You cannot stay away from that. Therefore, you find our Sif Imam taught us, علموا أولادكم ما ينتفعون به من علومنا أو من علمنا حتى لا يسبقكم المرجعة. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said, teach your children what will benefit them of our informations and knowledge before other theories and knowledge take them. And today you see our children, they are taking different way, and we are trying to pull them, they are not coming. When they have to go to the Western study, we get so much worried because we are unable to do our homework when they are young. Therefore, the right of the child is to teach them. And last but not least, when you look at all these mechanisms of teaching our children, Islam taught us ways of teaching them. Let's just recap it and remind you of some of the points we mentioned the other time. The first one is at-tarbiyah qabla at-tanmiyah. Is to develop your children before you, to upbring your children before you develop them. Upbringing is different from developing. Today, all of us, we are developing, we are not upbringing. You know what is developing? I want her to become a lawyer. I want him to become a nurse. I want him to become a doctor. I want him to become a businessman. Fair enough, excellent, no doubt, we are proud of that. But Islam said, لِيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. First, zakah, tarbiyah, give them upbringing, then you throw them to the society, they will represent you. Surah Jum'a. رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. First, Rasulullah said يزكيهم. يزكيهم means tarbiyah, upbringing, Islamic way of upbringing. Everybody is worrying, will he become a doctor in future? That is good, excellent. But where is the tarbiyah? Tarbiyah is gone, finished. No tarbiyah. We only worried about that. Yes, there is a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah which talk وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. It's like the opposite of Surah Al-Jumu'ah. But that one is dua from Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. رَبَّنَا وَوَصِيهِمْ وَرَسُولًا مِنْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِ is dua. And they said dua when it comes ta'aleem first and tarbiyah. Because in the sense of dua, ta'aleem is internal existence and tarbiyah is external existence. So when you make dua, you do like that. But the first thing we need to know, brothers and sisters, is that we upbring them before we develop them. But today we are developing them and later you want to upbring. But this is a mature child, how will you do? What are you going to do here? You cannot do much. That's number one. Number two, at-tarbiyah ghayru mubashir. We have to upbring our children indirectly, not directly. Indirect way of upbringing. You know, direct way is what I'm doing now. I'm standing in front and I'm delivering my message to all of you. This direct way. Do this, don't do this, do this, do this direct way. With our children, direct doesn't help sometimes, in most cases. We have to upbring them indirectly. What's upbringing indirectly? Whatever you want them to do, let them see you doing it. You told them, don't watch this TV channel, don't watch it. You tell them, make namaz, let them see you making namaz, don't talk. That's tarbiyah ghayru mubashir. You are bringing them indirectly. Today the world needs good children. The world is in tatters, the world is in chaos. We need to give our community the best useful children. We need to give the entire Muslim Ummah the best of children who represent Ali Asghar and Bibi Sakina. And that doesn't come on a silver platter. We have to do our homework properly and sacrifice our precious time and energies to upbring those children so that they can represent Al-Bayt al-Ismata. Lack of upbringing is making millions of Muslims to misrepresent Islam in the world. Therefore, we need to go back to our notice board. We need to go back to drawing board. We need to see how best we can give the best of upbringing to our children so that they can become model, as our Sifima mentioned, wherever they find themselves in. So the second one is upbringing indirectly completely. You want them to go to madrasa, let them see you learning something. You want them to revise their book, let them see you revising your book in the house. This is how you go forward. The third one, al-insijam bayna al-jil al-jadid wa jil al-qadim. Reconciliation between the current generation and the old generation. In other words, reconciliation between your time and their time. You have to reconcile between their time and your time. If you want to look at them based on your time, you may crash the whole thing. And if you want to leave them with only their time also, you may not win. And why do you have to reconcile? Because their time is of two characteristics. The first one is jil ittisal and not jil tawassul. This is the time of communication and not the time of meeting. Your time to establish a friendship, you have to go and meet the person and establish it. But my time, I've got thousands and 2,000 of friends I've never met in my life. Therefore, I need to reconcile between the two. Our fathers, your friends, you could see it's lasting more. Our friendship are not lasting. Why? Because just through telecommunications, global village, internet, Skype, WhatsApp, you name them. We don't know most of our friends really. Therefore, it doesn't last. You chat, you get tired, you stop, and that's that. The second characteristic of the time of today is that ashaddu naqda. Number one, they are very inquisitive, so therefore they criticize. Of course, it may be constructive or otherwise, but this is the time of criticism. The young children of today, they don't take things that you tell them, fear manillah, they take it because you are telling them. They question. And sometimes they say, why are you questioning me? I'm older than you. It's not about you're older than him, that is the character, that's the characteristic of the time. So because of these two major characteristics, you have to reconcile between the two times. How do you reconcile? You as a father, you as a mother, at the father, you need to understand the current time. Understanding, learn something about it. Even if it entails you trying to understand what internet is all about, what WhatsApp is all about, what Facebook is all about, so that you know the whereabouts of your child, and when you address the child, you know how to address the child. Isn't it more like I have mentioned? لا تفسروا أولادكم بزمانكم فإنهم ولدوا بزمان غير زمانكم أو بآدابكم على ربش. Do not interpret and relate to your children based on your time, because they are created for a time and not your time. Different time they are created. Use your style and upbring them. Once you do that, you will not get anything out of it, I tell you. So the first one is that how do you reconcile? Understand their time, in addition to understanding your time, so that you are able to create and establish a balance. Number two, al-hiwar. There must be dialogue between you and your children. Sit and talk to them. Don't just want to force them. Talk to them. Dialogue with those boys. Dialogue with those girls. Talk to them. Discuss with them. It goes a long way. And discuss with them with patience. You will win the heart and you will manage. Number three, as-sabr. You need to have sabr. In dialogue with them, you need to have a lot of sabr. If you don't have the sabr, you become agitated, you will lose everything. So you need to have the sabr as you educate them and as you teach them. Last but not least, we all know, you must always show them a true love, not a fake love. A true love will come how you address them, how you talk to them, how you call them to order. You show them like Imam Amir al-Mu'minin said to Imam Hassan, وَجَدْتُكَ بَعْدِي بَلْ وَجَدْتُكَ كُلِّي. Oh Hassan, I found you half of me, but I found you whole of me. This is love. Isn't it? We are told, if Luqman would address his son, he would say, Ya Bunayya, oh my beloved son. Ya Abati, he will also address the father, oh my beloved father. So these are some of the things. There are so many things we can look at, but these are some of the primary things that really parents, you have a lot of role to play. Because Rasulullah said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. All of you will die like shepherds, and you will be questioned of the flocks given to each and every one of you. Today we hardly have time for our children. We hardly. Don't take only money, doesn't you bring them money, they eat, it doesn't help. For Islamic system, it's not only about giving them money, it's also about their akhlaq. If it's only giving them material, then animals. Because animals dance with it. And the tarbiyah has to be. So we ask Allah Ta'ala to grant us the tawfiq to look after our children properly. We ask Allah Ta'ala, where we fall, we ask Allah to forgive us, inshallah. May Allah give us the strength to be able to prepare the grounds by raising our children properly for the reappearance of the Imam of our time, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'ataynaka al-kawthar. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ sermon, as first I admonish myself and you beloved brothers and sisters to be conscious of the teachings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As usual, first on our items of second sermon, we look at few masail of fiqh, which is very, very important so that we are able to correct our ibadat, our salats, and our a'mal. Last week, if you remember very well, brothers and sisters, we discussed the importance of Salatul Jum'ah. And we quoted some riwayat from Ahl Bayt al-Asma al-Tahara on the fada'il, the significance of Salatul Fajr and Salatul Isha in Jum'ah. We spoke about that. Today I want to just add only one. Then we look at other masail. It's Salatul Dhuhr. And next week we look at the Asr. As we mentioned, to pray alone is risky, although there is no problem. But you are risking a lot of reward. I keep on emphasizing on this because of its importance. We need to fine-tune our ways and to reposition ourselves and prioritize things on how we want to establish a relationship with our Creator. And the best way to do that is to begin with the obligatory salats. Salatul Jum'ah, brothers and sisters, especially our brothers, it doesn't take any toll on you. It's a matter of driving and come for 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you are far. That's not practical, you cannot come. Wherever you are, try to do Jum'ah. Even if it's in a Sunni mosque, you try to do. But if you are close around here, it's better you go to Salatul Jum'ah because you will regret on the 11th hour of your life. Had I known, they said it's always at last. How I wished, and that is finished. Zuhr Salat in Jum'ah. Isha we mentioned, Fajr we mentioned, try. Alhamdulillah, there are so many progresses, but we don't stop there. We keep on hammering until this mosque is given its due right, which it deserves. It deserves more than that. It's 15 minutes, it's 10 minutes, you come to Salatul Jum'ah. After that, you go your way. And you feel fresh and rejuvenated. We have riwayat from our beloved Imams. One riwayat is from our Sif Imam on the question of Salatul Zuhr in Jama'ah. It could be here at the mosque, it could be wherever you are. You know what disturbs us and our major enemy? Somehow shaitan, but me I don't want to say shaitan. It's laziness. You should be able to overcome shaitan. And I can tell you how you overcome because you are conscious of that salah. Just that laziness, you don't want to go. I have that appointment, I have this appointment. Drop some of them and go to the calling of Allah. Is for your own soul. Our beloved Imam said, whoever, that's Sif Imam, whoever performs his Salatul Zuhr in Jum'ah. Imam is not saying he will go to Jannah. No. Imam said his status will be elevated in Jannah 50 times. That 50 only Imam knows, that's darajat. You will be elevated high in Jannah. it means it's not a question about entering into Jannah anymore. This is how important it is for Salatul Jum'ah. And even leave that one. Leave about the Jannah. Your soul itself, Salat works on it. And when you do it Jama'ah, you feel the bond. And you feel that closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rajul Mu'min bad. It makes your soul to ascend to Allah. So therefore, this is for Zuhur. It's so important that you should try our level best, brothers. And try and strive. Just make it a point. Tell yourself, I want to do it. Wallahi, Allah will help you. In tansurullah yansurukum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. You assist in the cause of Allah. Is there any cause that you assist Allah in the delay? You cannot. Allah doesn't need you. And Allah doesn't need me. Assisting Allah means you are assisting yourself. Wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. He will reciprocate and He will make you steadfast. We want to be steadfast. So that is for Salatul Jama'ah. We'll keep on giving it a bit. The mas'ala question. Ghusl al-Jum'ah. Because we have the ghusl we do on Jum'ah. Does it suffice for wudu or not? Because we have on Jum'ah, it's mustahab. It's not wajib. It's highly recommended though to make ghusl before you go to Jum'ah. It suffices for wudu if you do it on Friday. But any other mustahab ghusl, we all know it doesn't suffice for wudu. Only the wajib one which suffices for wudu. Whether the one related to both men and women or the one related to only women, it suffices. Once you've done it. But Jum'ah, if you make a ghusl, and it has a lot of virtues which we cannot discuss now, it suffices for your Salatul Jum'ah. You don't need to do wudu. If you do wudu, for it's no Allah, there's no problem. And lastly, is that this is just a reminder. When you make Salatul Zuhr and Salatul Asr, all that you recite in them, it has to be secret within you. It's only Jum'ah is mustahab. If you don't go for Jum'ah and you are doing your Zuhr, to recite it loudly, it's mustahab on Friday. Say I will not perform my Jum'ah Salah with Imam, then I'm going, it's just mustahab, just to have the barakat of Jum'ah. But at the normal circumstance, no. When you make your Zuhr, do it secretly. First 2 rakat and the last 2 rakat. Asr, first 2 rakat and the last 2 rakat. That one is very, very important. The rest one is Maghrib and Isha and Fajr. Fajr only 2 openly you recite this. Surah, Fatiha and the Surah. And then Maghrib and Isha, no. First 2 you openly recite and the last one and last 2 you don't do. Second, very quickly, on Sunday there will be the screening of the Hoja Ithna Ashari Jami. It's on Saturday. Only on Saturday. It's very important to know where you come from and where you are heading towards to, so that you can appreciate your history. Right from being Hindu to becoming Ismaili, and from being Ismaili, you are now Shia Ethna Ashari. It's good to know history, because history is linked to the current. So therefore, you should try as much as you can on Sunday to participate. And on Saturday, I'm 6 days Sunday because we had the Wheat conference on Sunday. And last but not least, we condemn totally this killing and burning of the pilots in Jordan, which our scholars came out openly and condemned it. It's barbaric, and it has no room in Islam. And we pray and ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that whoever is genuine in fighting this shaitanic organization that claim to be Muslim, which to us they are not Muslims, whoever is genuine in fighting them and bringing them to order, we ask Allah to strengthen them and to be successful in their endeavors. Nigeria, Boko Haram is just, we don't know what is going on really. Now they move to Cameroon. People are getting killed day by day. The reality of Boko Haram is what only Allah knows and those who are there. But we ask Allah Ta'ala, whoever is the cause of this fitna, may Allah expose them, inshallah. Nigeria is going for its election. We ask Allah Ta'ala to help those in charge, if they are genuine, to fight Boko Haram, to be able to push them away and fight them before they go for the national election, inshallah. May Allah make them live in peace and harmony, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu as-samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Fa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi tayyibin tahirin.